destigmatizing emergencies, starting with autism. With that being said, welcome to RAW-tism, a podcast about my autistic experience and opinions on the world. On this podcast, I will be raw and unfiltered. Whether you listen to enjoy, hate listen, or just leave it playing on mute to support me, I appreciate the effort you put into my little program. Thank you! You're always welcome to disagree with me as long as you do so respectfully and with no name-calling. I love you all! If you enjoy this podcast, please consider rating and reviewing RAW-tism to help others find me. Ensure you're following RAW-tism on your preferred podcast streaming service so you never miss an episode. We post a new episode every Monday, but you never know when we'll throw in a special treat during the week. The topic of today's unscripted episode is explanation versus excuse. We're going to start with the post on r/autism, which is on Reddit. It's a subreddit called Autism. So the question is, do you consider autism to be a disability? Do you consider autism to be a disability? Do you use the word disabled to describe yourself? What is your relationship with the word disabled? I ask these questions mostly because it seems simple to me. I believe autism is a disability. I am autistic, therefore I am disabled. However, my mom gets a bit weird about me using the word disabled. And schools and various organizations use the phrases differently abled or special needs. I don't quite get it. Avoiding the word disabled just makes the word and concept even more taboo. At least those are my thoughts. What are yours? I completely agree with this user. That autistic radish. I love it. I love that username. That is beautiful. Yeah, I agree with you, that autistic radish. Actually, a previous episode is called Differently Abled, Handy Capable, and Being Your Hero. That's about all the cutesy little names they try to give us as disabled people so that we don't seem less than able-bodied people, but honestly, we're not less. We're just different. Okay, let's look at some comments. The first one is a long one, so I'm going to try to find a shorter one. Here. Autism is a disability, and I'm disabled. There's nothing wrong with that. Being disabled doesn't make you any less worthy or deserving of anything. It is simply something you are. Boom, bang, period. That is all. That is all. This commenter's username is enthusiast of mushroom, which is another great username. Me, unironically, this user commented, I do, meaning they do consider autism a disability, because a lot of things that are easy for NTs, neurotypicals, are near impossible for me. Mood. Oh, this is my comment. I forgot I commented on this post. Here's my comment, Ninja Gal EmKay. Autism is a disability. Disability is not a bad word. It is just a descriptor. I'm a huge advocate for this. I have a podcast episode coming out in a few weeks on this topic. That episode I was talking about was Differently Abled, Handy Capable, and Being Your Hero. But now that that's already out, I can say this episode as well. This episode, explanation versus excuse, is a good episode on the topic. I cannot pronounce Xiaolin 707, maybe? I don't know. But that user said, I am most certainly disabled. I could never live on my own and will never be able to get a normal job. I don't understand people who don't want to use the word disabled for us. That's so weird. I agree. People are so uncomfortable with the idea of us being disabled because they feel like it puts us down and they feel bad that we're less than them. But it doesn't. It actually makes us stronger to be able to use these terms because this is who we are and we accept it. Accepting yourself is one of the best things you can do. So this is why I hate handy capable, being called a hero, being called all these different cutesy nicknames so that they don't have to say disabled. Like, no, we're not differently abled. It's not that we have different abilities. It's that we have a harder time doing the abilities of the average person. That's just it. Sure, we might be good at things, but every person is good at things. We have a disability. Sometimes there's pros and sometimes there's cons to the way our brain works. But either way, it is a disability. Say it with me now. Disability. Good job. Okay, I'm getting a little condescending. We're clicking off of that one. Goodbye. Let's go to the next one. This one is on the same subreddit. And the title is, My Family Cannot Get My 19-year-old Autistic Sister to Care About Hygiene and Things Are Only Getting Worse. Which, I haven't read this one yet, so we'll see how gross it gets. My sister is 19. She was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when she was young. I think it's called something different now. Yes, it is called something different. It is level 1 autism. And she has always had issues with hygiene. She would not clean up after herself, rarely washed her hands, and went through a phase of urinating in closets and needing to be told to shower. Ugh. We all have our difficulties. Our parents, unfortunately, didn't do much about it as they are more focused on her aggression issues. Understandable, but still not great. As time went on, with her poor hygiene being ignored, it only got worse. And as someone who's like 99 certain I have contamination OCD, it's a nightmare. Oh, yeah, that would be awful. Her room is filled with dried balls of feces, and when she's asked to clean them up and throw them out, she freaks out, later claims she did, though she never does. Okay, I'm going to skip the rest of this description because this is disgusting. But a basic summary, lots of bodily fluids just wiped on the wall. Her bathroom habits are awful. She gets sick often, which makes sense. She has fungal infections, and doctors don't understand what's going on with her. Whenever we bring up her hygiene issues with her, she flips out and yells, making it basically impossible to get a second word in. As she's over 18, our parents can't bring this up with their therapist. Is there anything we could do about this? Are there doctors or therapists who specialize in this kind of thing? Any help is appreciated. Okay. I'm really glad I didn't read that entire thing to you guys because it got really gross. Like, I'm not dwelling. Okay. Here we go with the explanation versus excuse. The explanation of why it's hard for the 19-year-old sister to work on keeping themselves clean is because of the autism. That is okay to say. Versus using autism as an excuse to get away with these poor hygiene issues, that's not okay. See the difference here? The only way the explanation is not an excuse is if you're working to do better, and she doesn't seem to be. If she only has some level 1 autism, which again, this just means how much she affects the people around her, then she shouldn't struggle this much. She should be able to get better and improve. It may be difficult and it may be a lot of energy to do these things, but she should be able to. But there's also giving in to her, letting her do things over her childhood, which will make it harder for her to change her habits. With autistic people, we get stuck in a routine. So if she's in a routine of doing these really gross things, and she feels it's okay, you're not going to be able to get her to change. She will flip out. She'll have meltdowns and freak out. So what she's doing is not okay. But the thing is that the parent should have helped her out of it sooner. It's going to be so much harder now. But if she can't take care of her own, where did they use hygiene? If she can't take care of her own hygiene and she's living like this, which, again, I didn't read you the whole thing, but it is disgusting and there's no way this is healthy for her. In that case, they could have a court case to get custody of her even though she's an adult, because obviously she can't take care of herself if she's acting like this. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you can't take care of yourself in a healthy way, then you need caretakers. Oh, that was so gross. Okay, someone comments, letting it get this bad sounds like medical neglect on your parents' part. Disabled people have been removed from homes by protective services for less. Yes, exactly what I was saying. And then the original poster said, I agree. Unfortunately, they subscribe to the pick your battles idea. So if they don't make progress in something after a few attempts, they just give up. That's why I am now looking for some kind of solution. If I can't find something to suggest that will work, This will just continue to go unnoticed. That's not how pick your battles work. Pick your battles is not, oh, my kid's not listening, give up. Pick your battles. As a nanny, I know. Pick your battles with children is if it's not unsafe and it's not unhealthy and it's just weird and you're not a huge fan of it, but it's not exactly like bad, that's pick your battles. Oh, they're playing with this toy in a way that might break the toy later, but they're having fun and I warned them and they don't care, but I'm not going to make them stop playing with the toy because I already warned them and honestly, it's not that big of a deal. That's pick your battles. Pick your battles is not, oh, the toddler's peeing all over the place and you know what, he's not listening to me, so I'm just going to let him keep doing. No. Children need repetition in order to create new routines and lose old routines. And I know that this sister is 19 right now, but this seems like it's been going on her whole life. So they should have shut it down way sooner. And if she didn't shut it down, she should be in a mental facility until she's trained out of it, because honestly, this can't be safe for anyone in the household. And I don't really like the idea of people shoving autistic people into mental facilities just because they're difficult. But this isn't her just being difficult. It's her not being able to handle hygiene in a way that's healthy for her or her family. It's affecting all of them. So, unfortunately, that might be where they have to go. I hope not. That's kind of sad. Oh, this one got cut off, and it's the one that doesn't have a link. So, I'm going to read what it says before it gets cut off, and we're just going to hope it gives us enough of the story. Okay. This is from the same subreddit. My fiance thinks my autistic daughter is just being a lazy teen when she doesn't want to take a shower. Oh, I feel this in my soul. Showering has always been difficult for me. My 38 female fiance, 39 male. So she's 38 and a female. He is 39 and her fiance. Thinks that my autism spectrum disorder level 1 daughter, who is 16, is just being lazy and spoiled when she says she doesn't want the shower. The goal is for her to shower at least every other day. Oh. Well, there's your problem. That's too much. Start once a week, get her into a routine of that, and then increase it. Every other day? There's 7 days in a week. The days she shower are going to keep changing. Give her a schedule. Okay, I shouldn't assume I know everything about this family. Hold on. Tonight when I went to go ask her to get ready for her shower, she said that she couldn't. She knew it was a shower day all day and thought that she could get herself there mentally, but just couldn't. Oh, relatable. The idea of taking a shower and getting wet was sickening. Again, relatable. I offered suggestions to help take the edge off, like taking a bath instead, or I would just wash her hair for her, or do a whole body wipe down sponge bath type thing. But she said no, because she would still have to get wet and she would feel too uncomfortable and gross. She promised she would do it all tomorrow. When I told my fiance, he got really upset. He didn't say anything to her, just to me. He didn't yell or go crazy or anything, but he thinks she's manipulating me and I'm buying it. That I am just letting her get away with it. And that's where it cuts off. But I think we do actually have enough with the story. And oh my God, this is explanation. The last story was kind of excuse. This is explanation. She has autism, so it struggles for her to shower. And if she can't do it today, let her skip a day. Don't let it continue, but see if she can do it better tomorrow. Give her a little more time to mentally prepare. Oh my God. There were some times I would go weeks without showering because it was just too much. The transition from dry to wet to sort of dry-ish wet until you're fully dry. Ugh. And the water hitting you, that feeling and the sound of the water. And all the things you need to do while you're surrounded. Oh my God. I take like 5 to 10 minute showers because I need longer than that and I just freeze and I'm done. Okay, I'm going to read this comment. I had horrible shower aversion at that age. Mood. Most of the time, it had nothing to do with what else I had going on. It was more an anxiety and control thing. That's similar to eating disorders as well. If I was overwhelmed by life, the last thing I want to do is mentally and physically muscle through an overstimulating activity. Yes. I would do it anyway, but it would make me shake and cry if I was really going through it. I developed horrible TMJ due to clenching my jaw to get through hygiene routines in stressful situations. It's not about being lazy. Okay, there's a lot of advice, and then talking about how the fiance needs to get a grip and figure out how to talk better about the daughter, but I'm not going to go and read through all of this. But yeah, that's this. If you have any questions on explanation versus excuse when it comes to disability labels, please let me know and I'll make a specific episode on this, but I hope the unscripted episode with the examples helps you. If you have any direct questions, you can contact me at EmKay Archlink.com or RAW-tismpod.com. So RAW-tism, the name of the podcast, and then POD for podcast.com. And I'm going to let you go so we can slide into the pre-recorded outro. I had to re-record those with my new editing system. But that's okay. Okay. I love you all. Here's the outro. Always, I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm not even here to tell you what or how to think. I'm here to share the autistic experience with you from someone who is studying for their graduate certification in autism spectrum disorder, someone who, for the first 22 years of their life, was under the impression that they were allistic, and as somebody who since September 30th, 2022, has finally found their place in the world. I am autistic. I'm a part of the autistic community, and I'm proud of it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Regardless of your thoughts and feelings toward me, I would love for every one of you. You are wanted by many, you are loved by many, and so many want you to stay in this world. I am one of these manys and always will be. If you'd like to support this podcast, the description includes links with referral codes to Circles water bottles, Pair Eyewear's customizable glasses, and my favorite Amazon products. The transcript for this episode can be found for free on my Patreon, which is also linked below. Would you like to see more of me? In that case, visit EmKayArchlink.com for links to my other content. A new episode of RAW-tism comes out every Monday wherever you get your podcasts. Next week's episode of RAW-tism is posted on Patreon every Tuesday, ad-free and unedited. Karaoke videos are posted on Patreon every Thursday. Lastly, my book Unseen Powers is available in hardback, paperback, or digitally through Amazon. Remember to drink water, eat some